Hey, and welcome back to What If Universe's Extended Universe. I am Drew, here to bring you the final part of me doing my commentary of Dragon Ball GT Abridged. Episode 5 and onwards gonna be done with me and Science, hopefully, and we're gonna work out days when we can do it, but the thing is, we're both busy, me being the writer and everything, him doing the editing and all that other fun jazz. There's other stuff I do in the background as well, but I don't really talk about it too much because all I do is occasionally help with voice direction, but Science is the main person who does it. Now, I think voice direction is something that I'll talk about in episode 5 and onward, because as far as episode 4 and latter goes, I actually didn't help with that process at all. The original people who were doing that was Sal Saiyan, Magic Z, and also Super Saiyan Science. However, episode 4 is very significant because this is when basically Sal left some point in November and Magic Z also departed from the series. If you want to learn more about that, there's a podcast episode on the Dragon Ball Network's channel where we talked about it a bit more in depth than that. And Sal's still in good terms with me and Science. Magic Z, I barely knew the guy. Kinda wish I did know him better to understand his perspective of things and why he left, but in all reality, I don't really know him, and I don't think that it matters all that much to me at the end of the day, because I've taken over. Everything has been going a bit smoothly as far as episode 6 goes. I do know episode 5 there's things I want to talk about, but I'm saving it for that. Anyways, with the introduction out of the way, let's jump right into my commentary. Anyways, fun fact here, this might actually be the last the following is non-prop fanbase parody reading. Now, I'm saying maybe because episode 6 I'm trying to negotiate with Science if that might happen or not. Also, the opening to this episode was a bit different for sure, with the GT logo showing up. And I do think it's quite interesting that this was a Christmas special. Now, what I want to talk about here is that this was supposed to go up in December, but what happened is due to so many delays that occurred and also the falling out between Sal and Magic Z, it kind of delayed the episode so far back that it didn't come out until February, unfortunately. So it was from this point onward that holiday specials were no longer going to be done, basically. And I really think the Space Hub thing on the computer was kind of funny. That's going to come back later on in the series for sure. And also, I think the dialogue in episode 4 is really when things started to get a lot better, in my opinion. Because with 1 and 2, it's a bit more hit or miss. There are parts that I still like, but I think the further you get in, stuff obviously gets better. And a lot of people told me this before, and a lot of other people said things that Team 4 didn't start out perfect, and neither did we, in my opinion. I think we've gotten a lot better as of lately. I think it was funny with the Grand Theft Auto reference that we threw in, and also the Law and Order one as well. I kind of wish we did something with the poster thing as well. And as far as other stuff, there was a reference to Three Stooges that was kind of funny. I kind of wish we had some Undertale reference, maybe. Now, one big issue I have is the ambience in this episode. At least in certain parts, it's somewhat there, but I feel like it could use some sort of music in parts where it doesn't have it. I do think that the mouse flaps in this episode in particular are probably some of the best, honestly, that Science has done compared to the other episodes. And I think the police officer's voice in this episode were actually pretty funny. We have this bird person, we have another llama person. It's kind of funny. I think the funny thing is the names of Donkey's sidekicks just being changed to Karen. The other guy's it's kind of, I thought that was kind of creative. And the thing with this, I don't have as much commentary to add because, like I said, this is the one episode that I barely had any involvement in. There was holiday stuff that I was doing. I was working on my channel a lot. Well, I would say more dedicating time, not really working, in my opinion, because there was so much stuff that I was dealing with at the time mentally that I feel like it would have probably not been able to help in this episode at all, honestly, because I was so out of it. Because after episode 2, I was cut, obviously, and also a lot of people might remember in part 1 of this series, I was originally supposed to voice Donkey, which eventually didn't happen, which I learned by episode 3, so that was kind of disappointing for sure, but I don't know. I think it was understandable because the take for Donkey they wanted and the dialogue was a lot different. Now, these random old people, I think this was probably some of my favorite bits that has occurred with the Abridged series, in my opinion. I think it's funny like how Science wrote them, at least in my opinion. And this is, I believe he does voice the old dude, actually. I'm pretty sure Science voices him. I don't know if he credited himself for that or not, but I'm 100% sure he voiced him. And I'm pretty sure the old lady was voiced by Saiyans, which now changed her name to Has Been Radio, so if people are curious why I'm calling her Has Been Radio now, it's because she had a name change in between me recording these commentaries, so I'll be referring her as Has Been Radio, basically. I think Has Been Radio's voice acting for Pan this episode was alright, in my opinion. Like I said, like, with some of these episodes, as someone who does listen to voice actors more often now, I do think there would be times where I said I might retake that line or something. But I do think, for the most part, she does a really good job. I think what was funny with Trunks saying Shabba Shalom a little bit, because I don't know, I think the reference is quite interesting. Because some people might not know Science's lineage. But I do think the cutaway and how this was edited was pretty good, because obviously this is when stuff was ramped up a lot, in my opinion. And I think that the voice acting for Legic, done by Liam Miller Productions here, was probably some of my favorite, next to Donkey. And also the text Giro has here, that was changed, obviously, once you get to episode 5. It's a lot better now. That's why I'm saying, like, some of the editing isn't up to where it should be, in my opinion, but some parts are. Like, this is where stuff really gets a lot better. Now, the Goku versus Legic fight, obviously there's only so much we could do with it because it was so short in the original canon, or the original series, however you want to describe that. And I think the Squidward joke was kind of funny, that Giru said that he looks like him. Now, the effects that Science put in this really helped it stand out a bit better, in my opinion. Now, there are some stuff that's still the original, obviously, because as far as I know, Science isn't an animator, but who knows, maybe something will come up that I'm not talking about. But I kind of wish the Santa joke was kind of thrown in this fight instead of seeing in episode 3. That's something I would have probably done, but oh well, I guess it happens. It's whatever. I always liked the Legic swords. I always thought they were cool. And I believe we saw an error here where we saw Goku's face twice. I'm not 100% sure if that was an error or not on Science's part, but I feel like that was an animation error, possibly. And it's kind of cool, in my opinion, with Legic's abilities as well. As far as the series, people recognize that he's able to change his weapons and stuff. Seems like I'm pointing out the obvious here at some points, but it's just how it is. And my issue is how weird the holiday element was, because oh man, the Ultra Instinct edit here, that was kind of cool. I like that being a bit that just randomly showed up. And alright, so the one gear thing that happened with him and the bag shaking in between the fight, if it were up to me, I would have just cut that, but I don't know. I just didn't think it was that funny. Gotta be 100% honest there. I do think the fighting's definitely well choreographed and edited for sure. I think the Kamehameha in this one was really good. I think the voice actor did a really good job, but again, the microphone quality of course wasn't the best because he has his new mic by episode 5, so you can hear a voice change if you're an audiophobe like myself who can actually hear different things. Kind of like with Legic, he would probably hear it considering how huge his ears are. But honestly, Legic's design is pretty cool in my opinion. I think out of all the filler people we meet, he's pretty cool. Next to Muchi, but the only reason I'm saying Muchi is because our interpretation of Muchi is a lot better. At least in my opinion. And that's gonna be more towards later on, because I think episode 5 you get a nice introduction, but I think when we see him more, it's kind of nice. And let's see, we had 2 cutaways here. And we had Gero just running away, so in my opinion, I think this cut was a bit weird a little bit. At least in my opinion. I still think the jokes were funny, but I do think the weird cutaway happened. I think my favorite thing is that they never came up with a name for Gero yet, which means Science did figure out one eventually, which it'll be revealed later on what Gero's actual name is going to be for this series. I do think one of my favorite voice actors throughout this whole thing, I would say, would be the narrator, which is Birdie. I think his delivery is always on point, even when I wasn't there to provide direction. But I do think this episode 4 really closes out this mini arc, basically. But yeah, that's the end of the thing here, end of the episode. So, anyways, be sure to subscribe to the Dragon Ball Network if you want to listen to episode 5's commentary whenever that comes out. As far as when I get this one out, I'm gonna try get it out some point. I record the commentary here around 9:24, so if this comes out and somehow me and Science break up and I'm no longer part of DBN or whatever happens, because I have no idea when I'll get this edited and done with and stuff. Because, stuff happens, who knows, series gets done, because at the time of recording this, episode 5's just down, unfortunately, because, Toei's being Toei. Anyways, be sure to subscribe to this channel if you want to see more secondary content. Currently, I'm trying to get to 1,000 subscribers, but there's also a subscriber goal for What If Launch Married Goku Part 3, which I believe was around 200-something subscribers I was trying to get, which I'm still not there at the time of recording this. I'm only at 140-something, but I still like posting content here every once and again. Because here I basically have more control of whatever I want to post versus my main channel, because I dedicate my main channel to What Ifs and keeping the story focus there. And I might move over some stuff on that channel that doesn't really hold up to my current standards, or stuff that's not really the What If, because there is one video still up there. It isn't technically a What If, but it's more of a theory video that I tried that some people liked, some people didn't. I don't know. I'll think about that. Anyways, I will see you in the next commentary on Dragon Ball Network's channel. But feel free to subscribe and click notifications and comment down below what other stuff you want me to do, because this is the only main long-running thing I was planning to do, and I don't really have any other supplementary content ideas at the moment besides moving over some of my older videos from my main channel that I don't think that hold up, you know? Anyways, I will see you in the next video, so see ya.